is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers best bet or daily package for only $2.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's Tuesday, June 29th. Teddy covers Lawrence Presman. You're watching Wager Talk Today. And Teddy, only two guests today. Dave Cokin right off the top. A whole lot of baseball. We're looking at the Marlins, Phillies, Padres, Reds, and Angels, Yankees game. Steve Merril after that. Blue Jays, White Sox, and Astro game. But don't worry, Teddy, you got them covered in the NBA game, right?
I do. We'll do a big game breakdown talking about the Hawks and the Bucks game 4. And, of course, for those of you missing Dave Sheriff, and we're missing him too, he's back east. I'm sure he'll be back joining the show in the not-too-distant future. But he said he's back east with a bad internet connection, and that's not going to allow him to do his normal Wager Talk Today appearances on Tuesday for the time being.
Yeah. Well, listen, before we get into what did we learn last night, I got to just make mention, you are not a soccer fan. Did you find out anything about yesterday's games?
So I watched again, it's on the other TV. You know, the office has got 3 TVs, and I had got sports on all 3 normally. So it was on the third TV, and I watched Switzerland score 2 goals. They were down 3-1. And it was like end-to-end action, which you don't normally see. Is that like a smaller pitch than you normally have or something? I wasn't used to the end-to-end action. What's that?
Yeah, they're playing the Euro 2020 on a pitch half the size of regulation.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
It
was
isn't?
the same
I don't know.
size pitch.
It's the same size as the World Cup?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The action was faster.
But I'll tell you, Teddy.
No, I didn't watch it that close. Okay,
dude.
Clearly.
Both games, 3-1 with like 7-8 minutes to go in the game, and both games tied it up 3-3. One Spain won in overtime 5-3, and the other went to a shootout, and the reigning world champs lost. But I mean, that just doesn't happen. Like, teams down 3-1 with 10 minutes to go in a game do not score 2 goals. That happened twice yesterday, dude. I mean, though, if nobody watches soccer, those are the 2 games. I mean, they're probably the greatest day of soccer ever played. Anyway, what did you learn last night in the wonderful world of sports?
Sure, we got to talk about run lines, and in particular, Zach Greinke and the Houston Astros yesterday. All right, Astros bullpen meltdown in the 9th. They rallied in the bottom of the 9th to make it interesting, but lost the game as a -350, -370 favorite. That's why you take Greinke and the Astros on the run line. With the run line, it's juice protection, all right? You lose a -370 wager. It's going to take you 4 bets just to break even. On the run line, you lose -170, -180. It's okay, you win 2 bets. You can show a profit. The run line hurts, obviously, in MLB when your team wins by exactly 1. The run line helps when you're dead wrong and the team loses. And the run line's best, obviously, when a team wins by margin. You get a nice plus price profit as a result. But it helps when you're wrong, when you're dead wrong and your team loses. So you're not an idiot if you bet the Astros in the run line yesterday. That was the better way to play it. You minimize your loss, and that's every bit as important, if not more so, than maximizing your wins. What about you, Prez? What did you learn last night?
Well, I just want to keep on that topic, Teddy, because look, you don't want to be running taking run lines a lot with the home team because you don't get that 9th inning. But there are select teams, Teddy, whether it's the Dodgers or the Blue Jays when their bats are hot, or Houston for the last freaking month, that you can take the run line comfortably and feel like, look, if they're going to win by margin. So on top of the suggestion to take the run line, and have that run line instead of the -350s, the teams that win by margin, you shouldn't be afraid to take those run lines, even if it's 150.
Rob Vino was on the show last week, and he talked about the Astros in particular. He's like, when the Astros win, they win by multi-run margins. There are only 6 victories all year. They've won by a single run. So I'm with you. Certainly the explosive offenses are teams I'm much more excited about taking on the run line. When it comes to the home team and being afraid to take the home team on the run line, to me, that's a myth. That's one of these long-time myths. I heard that when I first moved to Vegas 25 years ago, that, you don't want the home team on the run. It's priced in. It's not like it's not priced into the equation. The fact that you don't get that last at-bat is absolutely priced into the equation. So I don't shy away from playing the home teams in the run line. It's factored into the equation.
No, and I understand that. I did last week, but I would prefer to have them as the away team. Anyway, Teddy, great start to the hockey Stanley Cup playoffs last night. If you had Tampa Bay, which I did, my 5% play won. How did you do last night?
We swept.
Nice. 2-0. 2-0.
Clippers in NBA and another MLB winner. The MLB has been real good. About 26-13, my last 39, at 35-19, my last 54. I mean, it's been pretty consistent now for a couple of months with the baseball. I had one cold stretch for about a week or so, but other than that, it's been pretty steady for a good couple of months. And the playoffs have been good for a while, Prez. Last 3 years have been steady profits in the postseason. So see if we can keep it rolling tonight.
There you go. Let's bring Dave Cokin in. Dave Cokin, the $2 Tuesday expert over at WagerTalk.com. It's $2 Tuesdays. Dave, you've increased your client's bankroll by 45% in baseball over the last year. That's unbelievable. I'd like to find a place where I know you're like nonchalant. Dude, if I can find a place where I can put my money and make 45% return a year, I will do the 1980s Toyota dance for anybody who remembers that. Welcome to the show, man.
I don't think it's that good. Should be high. And the reason I'm saying that is the last week has not been good because it was up. It was a lot more than that a week ago at this time. Last week or so in baseball has not been good, but they happen. I was looking at the free play record, which going into this, I've lost 4 of the last 5 free plays. But for the season, my free baseball plays are 21, 11, and 2. And there's not a single big favorite in there. The biggest price I laid all season on a free play is minus 130. And that's the biggest. Most of them have been even money, dogs. So 21, 11, and 2, I'm not going to bitch. The trolls are having a party on Twitter because anytime you go into a slump, they go, they love it. But we'll get it back on track. And talking about the runs line, the best bet today is a runs line play, which I don't do those many of those because I'm more on the hunt for value with dogs. But this one fits, and it particularly fits because the team I'm on almost always wins by more than 1 run, and the team I'm against almost always loses by more than 1 run. So add that in, and I think you've got a good play. And I have a free play on one of the games we're going to talk about here.
Excellent stuff. Dave Cokin, everybody. $2 Tuesday handicapper. He's got a best bet in baseball. You can get it for $2 over at WagerTalk.com. And Dave, let's get straight into it. And we're going to start with the Philadelphia-Miami game. And this game intrigues me. I know you like to play the halves, but like I look at this game and I really like the under. I thought to myself, Rogers 2.08 ERA. Miami can't hit. So Velasquez, even if he's mediocre, is still playing against a terrible lineup, and yet this number just keeps moving. Now it's at 9. Phillies minus 110. I still like the under here. What do you like in this game?
I'm going to probably stay away from unders for a while. I played one last night, and it went over in the first inning. The reason I'm saying this, that was the Cubs-Brewers. Hendricks struggled early. He'd won 8 in a row and was pitching great ball, and had completely owned the Brewers recently. And Peralta's been just dynamite, but he wasn't last night. And part of the reason I'm going to, at least temporarily, put a hold on the unders is the walk rates are going up. Now, I think that it does have something to do with the stick-em rule. I don't think pitchers we've only had one guy get caught so far. It was Hector Santiago, the veteran relief pitcher. And by the way, in looking through spin rate leaders, even in a small sample, Hector Santiago was right near the top of the list. So his manager can make all the excuses. Well, he didn't do it. It was Rosin. Yeah, okay. He got caught. And there might be some other guys who get caught. Or we could be seeing that these pitchers are not using the foreign substances now. And as a result, their control isn't quite as good. More walks means more runs. And walk rates are definitely up. Add in heat and humidity. I don't know. I'm more of an underplayer than an overplayer, but I'm going to be looking more for overs. For the time being, at least. As for this game, the Phillies bullpen is just insanely awful. So if you like the Phillies, you basically can't play a full game with them, and I don't think you can play a full game under with them. Rogers has been good for Miami, no question about that. I'd give him the edge here over Velasquez, who's inconsistent, and he can lose the strike zone in a hurry, and I don't care who you're playing. If you're putting guys on with free passes, you're going to give up runs. Velasquez sailing along in his last game, he couldn't even get through the fifth inning because he lost the strike zone and had to be removed. So I would lean to Miami. I'm not crazy about the price. You're not going to get bargains on pitchers who've already established themselves as studs. And the rookie Rogers, is he rookie? Yeah, well, he's close enough. He has been outstanding for the Marlins, and it's in the price here. So I'm not going to play the game, but if I had to take a side, it would be the Marlins with Rogers. Good lefty.
Now, let me ask you this, because Prez was talking about a full game under. You're like, I don't trust Philadelphia's bullpen.
I have not done a full game under all season. And I will not do a full game under all season. What? Give me that again, Teddy. I interrupted you.
First five. Yeah. All right. I'm saying in this game.
I don't want first five with Velasquez involved. He's just not very good. I mean, let me get my Velasquez numbers here. Strictly average across the board. OPS at home, a little over 700. Phillies do hit lefties pretty well at home. I mean, I don't like the over with Rogers involved, but not the under. And again, I've said this a few times, but if you're going to play unders, it's got to be first five. Obviously, you can find any game that might stay under full game, but you're bucking two things when you go full game unders. One, the uncertainty of bullpens. I mean, even yesterday, the Cubs bullpen, which has been really good. I mean, it's been fantastic. Tepera has been one of the stud relievers in baseball this year. Got absolutely blown up by a bad Milwaukee offense last night. Game goes way over. Brewers had, they have like a 10-run inning or something? The Brewers.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, if you play it under, you better hope it doesn't go into extra innings. Because you might get 6 runs with the extra inning rule. And goodbye. So long, under bet. So if you like it under, it's basically based on the starting pitchers. Play the first 5 and then forget about the rest of it. But for me, I'm going to lay off the unders for a little while till I get a little better read on some of the pitchers and what's happening.
And
Dave Cokin, everyone.
Certainly.
Go ahead, Teddy.
I sent you a little note. It's all good. I was just going to say, you weren't the only one that liked that under yesterday. I came on and in my big game breakdown talked about first 5 under, full game under makes sense. I talked about how good the bullpens have been. I talked about how good the starters have been. And that was not the case in yesterday's ballgame. You were not alone.
No. And I knew it on the first 2 batters because Peralta was all over the place. It's like, shit, this isn't going to be good. And the second hit, he walks the leadoff guy, and then Ian Happ, who's literally hitting less than his weight on the season, launches one. And it's like, bye. Time to watch something else.
Oops.
Guys, Blue Jay trade. I don't know if you knew that. Adam Kimber and Corey Dickerson from the Marlins to the Jays for Panic and a minor leaguer, Andrew McInvale.
Corey Dickerson's good left-handed hitter. He's not going to hit a lot of home runs, but he'll spray base hits all over the place. a good ball player. That gives them more depth. I mean, I haven't examined the prospects that are going over in the deal, but that's a nice pickup for the Blue Jays. They're trying to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and I've been touting them for the last little while.
Jesus, man.
What happened?
Damn it!
Tell us.
It just dawned on me. I'm in a couple of fantasy leagues, and they are league specific, AL only and NL only. They're auction leagues.
Yeah.
I get Corey Dickerson on my NL team, and now he's in the AL. Goodbye. Oh well, at least I get the fat money for his salary.
Okay, there you go. So there's a silver lining. Cincinnati hosting San Diego. A disappointing Snell on the mound. 10 minus 150. What are you doing in this game, Dave?
Disappointing on the road. He's got some unbelievable home road splits this season. Snell's been really good at home for the Padres. He has been atrocious on the road. He's had 8 starts on the road. Padres have lost all 8. His average game score on the road is 36. 50's average. 36 is pathetic. His OPS on the road is 1.032. If you see a 1, that's really bad. And the Reds can hit. They don't hit lefties as well as righties. Reds home versus lefties, 83 WRC plus, which isn't very good. So that's, and he is off a good start. Maybe I'm not going to trust him on the road. I've watched Santillan, the Reds rookie. His stuff's ordinary. Okay, I don't think he's a starting pitcher of what I'm seeing. I think he's probably a guy who eventually ends up in the bullpen for the Reds. So I don't trust him. This could be a high-scoring game. Given Snell's tendencies on the road this year and the fact that I'm just not very impressed with Santillan, I think you might get some runs here.
And is this one, Dave, if you were going to play the over in this one, would you look for a first 5 over or a full game over? Are these bullpens you want to be in support of, or are these bullpens you want to take out of the equation when it comes to an over wager in Cincinnati?
I'd probably go full game. Padres bullpen is really good. And the Reds bullpen is not. Although Amir Garrett seems to be putting things together at the back end, which is important if they have the lead. But, for the same reason I don't want to play unders full game, I go over full game, and it happens to go extra innings. Real nice chance I'm going to cash the ticket there.
Right.
So I'm more inclined to look at full game overs.
Dave Cokin, everybody. And it's funny, I've got that play in the penalty box, the over. So right now, without hockey, my penalty box segment, all the baseball bets that I'm betting but didn't release, and the over is one of them. Dave, Yankees on a slide, lost 4 in a row, playing the Anaheim Angels. And, man, Ohtani, this kid is ridiculous.
He is amazing.
I mean, you don't even know where to go. Like, is he? I mean, he should get like 2 awards, one for pitcher, one for a hitter. It's unbelievable what this kid is doing. Anyway, how do we bet this game?
I thought the Giants, for some reason, I was thinking Giants Dodgers was on the list. It's not. That's my free play today. If you want to see the video,
no, let's talk.
No. Let's have him watch the video. It's on my Twitter page.
Okay, watch the video.
It's on my Twitter page at Dave Cokin. I have not yet posted it to our Slack, so it's not yet on my homepage at WagerTalk. It'll be there in probably about half an hour or so. I just have to download it and put it on that page. So you can find out about the Giants Dodgers there. Yankees and Angels. Angels got a break last night. Dylan Bundy, in a rather ugly scene, got sick and had to be removed from the game. He got sick on the mound too, and I happened to switch the station to it right when it happened. It's like that pretty much sums up my night. I had a bad night in baseball. And, I wasn't involved in the Angels-Yankees game, but managed to switch to that game for 30 seconds just when he got sick. Anyway, they took him out, and that was probably the best thing that could happen to the Angels because Dylan Bundy has been god-awful, and the Yankees probably were going to blow him up. And the bullpen came in and did a good job last night. Andrew Heaney is an untrustworthy starter, to put it mildly. you don't know what you're going to get out of Heaney. When he's commanding his fastball, his other stuff is pretty good, and he's a good pitcher. When he's not commanding his fastball, he gets hit. And last time out, he was ineffective and got hit. He has been better on the road than at home this year. Average game score on the road is 56, which isn't bad. OPS on the road is okay. It's in the mid to high 6 range. Anything under 7 is okay. It's not great, but it's okay. Taillon has been much better at home than on the road. The splits aren't as dramatic as Blake Snell or Blake Snell even. It's actually been more Blake Snell on the road. But there's a pretty big split differential for Taillon. His numbers are much better at home than on the road. I would give the edge to the Yankees in this game. Not sure it's playable at the price, but it's the only side I'd look at. I think the Yankees will bounce back and get a win in this matchup. As for Ohtani, there's nobody more fun to watch in Major League Baseball right now. He's probably going to steal over 20 bases. Does he get to 30? He's going to get to 30 homers. I know that. He could be a 30-30, and also is pitching outstanding ball, and he's in the home run derby. Most entertaining guys in baseball right now are Shohei Ohtani and Fernando Tatis Jr. They are must-see TV, both of them.
So the Yankees won, 103 games in 2019. They won 100 games in 2018. Then last year they played 550 baseball.
Yep.
And this year, right now, they're 2 games over 500. I got to ask you, are the Yankees any good? And if they are, what's wrong with this team? Because they're not playing like a 100-win team this year. At no point this season have we seen the Yankees taking quality at-bats. At no point this season has their starting pitching been dominant. What do we think of the Bronx Bombers moving forward? Is this a bet against team?
You got Michael King in their rotation. That tells you something about the rotation. Losing Corey Kluber, who was really starting to look like the old Corey Kluber, was big. I don't think people have talked enough about Tanaka not being there. Now, I understand Tanaka was no longer a top-of-the-rotation guy, but you can't survive just on top of the rotation guys, and you can't tell me Tanaka wasn't still a very viable middle-of-the-rotation guy. So they don't have a lot behind Garrett Cole at this point. Taillon hasn't been very good. And you could point to some of the guys on offense who haven't materialized. You know, all we heard a couple of years ago was Gleyber Torres, future MVP. No, he's not. Okay, he's a decent ball player, but shortstop's a premium position. There's a lot of really good shortstops around baseball. If you're making out your top 5 list, there's room for debate on a lot of guys, but I don't think anybody's got Gleyber Torres in their top 5 list of shortstops. He also has made a bunch of errors this year, so he's not hitting a lot. He's not pitching a lot. He can't keep Stanton in the lineup. Judge is scary good when he hits the ball hard, but he's looks like a 270, 280 guy. He's not what I would term a superstar, and they don't have a lot of prospects on the way. Davy Garcia is their number 2 rated prospect, and he's not there right now. The number 3 prospect is Clark Schmidt. He's hurt, so we don't know what's going to happen with him. They're not in great shape right now. I think Brian Cashman might be on it. I was talking about this yesterday. Somebody's going to get the blame. Well, Steinbrenner's not going to fire himself. So I think Brian Cashman might be on thin ice as far as the GM situation with the Yankees goes. They're not winning championships. And for the Yankees, if you're not winning championships, you're failing.
Dave Cokin, everyone. Dave, Aaron Judge, we call him the poor man's Vlad. Anyway, and by the way, Vlad called and said, hey, brother, what about me? Why aren't I in the list of most exciting players in baseball?
Well, he is.
I did.
He is. And it's the best debate going right now is who's the MVP in the American League in the first half. Is it Vlad Guerrero Jr. or is it Shohei Ohtani? It's a tough call.
Ohtani.
That's a tough call.
It's Ohtani, but I give it to Teddy Covers. On that note, Dave Cokin, everyone, thanks for joining us, man. Remember, guys, Dave's got the $2 Tuesday play up at WagerTalk. Our number 1 profit leader in baseball and in everything else he does because he's freaking Dave Cokin. Anything I forgot, Dave?
No, I think that's probably, yeah. I haven't heard you. This is the first time I think I've done one of these shows that I have not heard you mention something that you're watching on Netflix or HBO that I have no interest in. So
I'm watching Friends still. Friends. I'm binging Friends. There you go. Get out of here. Teddy's Big Game Breakdown. Common. Steve Merril, my penalty box segment. Stay with us, everybody. So much more.
Sign up for the free WagerTalk text club to gain access to free plays and exclusive discounts. Just text WagerTalk to 33222 to sign up and get a $10 coupon to use on WagerTalk.com.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. Let's talk about the Bucks and Hawks in NBA playoff action. Game 4 in Atlanta tonight. Looking at the WagerTalk live odds screen, I'm seeing a split line here. There's -6.5s on Milwaukee's and -7s. Total sitting in the 218.5 range. We don't know if Trae Young is going to play tonight. We're probably not going to know until the hour before tip-off if Trae Young is going to play tonight, which makes it a little bit difficult to come in and say this is a great bet, this is a terrible bet right now. But conceptually, from a total standpoint, there's only one way I can look in this game. And from a side standpoint, there's only one way I can look in this game. So we'll talk about the concepts. You guys can make your decision about whether you want to bet those concepts now or wait until Young's status is announced closer to tip-off. Let's start with this. All right. The quotes coming out of Atlanta about Trae Young tell me very clearly if he doesn't play, the Hawks are done. All right. John Collins, that's the head of our snake. That's the last thing I feel like anyone who's a Hawks supporter wants to see is that dude coming down with any sort of knickknack or whatever it is. Clint Capella, obviously we're going to have to adapt. I don't know how. I mean, how many percent he's going to be or what kind of trade he's going to be. Even the fact that he's out there with us, it means a lot already in our minds and everything. As long as hopefully he can be out there with us. I don't know if he will or not, but hopefully he is. Those aren't the type of quotes that make me real excited about taking Atlanta if Young doesn't play. And a lot of times I want the team whose star isn't playing. Everyone else steps up. The other team relaxes a little bit. This isn't one of those games. And we've seen the Bucks show enough mental fortitude in terms of putting their foot down on the road. If Young doesn't play, it's Milwaukee or nothing for me, period. From a total standpoint, and this is something you might want to do sooner rather than later, I'm looking at the under in this contest. Again, if the point guard doesn't play, or if he does at less than 100%, we saw what the Hawks offense looked like in the fourth quarter with Trae Young less than 100%. It didn't work. Nate McMillan's quote is an under quote on both ends of the court. McMillan, quote, I thought we were taking quick contested shots early in the clock throughout the game. That was really from all of our guards. We just didn't show patience to find the matchup or the mismatch we were giving us and take advantage of that. So that says expect the offense to be a little bit slower today, more patient, And then I thought there were times we didn't do a good job of keeping the ball in front. We allowed those guys to play in the paint without giving help. There were times they missed shots, and then again, they beat us to the boards, the offensive rebounds. So McMillan saying, we need to corral the defensive glass. That's an under, quote. We need more help defense. We need to prevent them penetrating the paint. That's an under quote. So we have a series that's already trending under. We have a point guard who's not going to be anywhere near 100% if he does play. We have a Bucks team that has 5-1-1 in the under when the last 7 as favorites. The Hawks have gone under 6 of the last 7 times they've been dogs. Yeah, under or pass or this better when it comes to game 4 between the Bucks and the Hawks tonight. And that's whether Trae Young plays or whether he sits. there's my big game breakdown, Prez. Back to you, my friend.
Yeah, great take. Teddy covers, and Trae Young. I mean, this kid is. It's not like the Clippers when Kawhi goes down. When Trae Young goes down, it's like they turn into a really bad team.
The Hawks have a straight up win over the Bucks this year in a game that Trae Young didn't play. Not from 20 years ago, this year. So it's not like they haven't won a game without him. They have. And they've beaten this team without him, for what it's worth.
Teddy covers. Guys, it's $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk Dave Cokin. It's $2 Tuesdays at Sports Memo as well. BTC Sports. He joined us in March. This is his first ever 5-unit play. It's only $2 over at Sports Memo, so head over there and grab it. I would grab both. Let's bring in probably our most regular, not probably, our most, literally the third man in this show, Steve Merril. Steve, welcome. And brother, you and I are going to be doing this show together for a while in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm trying to confirm my spot as the third most regular, so I need some extra seat time. So Teddy Covers has graciously allowed to give me, I think, 3 weeks, the last 3 weeks of July, Teddy, right? So I guess it'll be Monday the 12th of July. Is that what we should tell people? Monday the 12th?
Are you guys doing shows the week of the All-Star break?
Yeah.
The week of the All-Star break, I'm telling you flat out, it's tough to do shows the week of the All-Star break. Good luck if you try to do them. I'll be off the last 3 weeks of July and back.
Prez and I can do it.
Rested and ready for the beginning of August.
Prez and I will talk
Teddy,
Bitcoin and the S&P 500 for a full week. We'll get everyone going.
Yep. We will make it happen. Plus, Steve likes to work out. So do I. Maybe we'll do a daily, we'll do chest with our clients. Everyone will watch. We'll do the actual workout for them. Yeah. So we got this, Teddy. You don't worry, brother. You don't worry.
I'm not worried at all.
Lots of tangents we can go on.
Steve Merril, man, oh man, you have just been smoking hot, plus 70% ROI in the last 2 months. That is rhodium. It's absurd. That is just massive, dude. Anyway, we got a promo for you guys. Steve 150. $150 off of Steve's 30 or 90-day package. Steve 150 over at Wager Talk. Brother, let's get straight into it. Mariners, Blue Jays. The play that didn't make my card was the Blue Jays minus 1.5. I tossed and turned between them and another bet, and they were literally the last one I left out. How are you betting this game?
Well, yeah, I'm looking Blue Jays as well, Prez. And when I sent this over late last night, I think we have some syndicates that are inside our private messaging thread for this show because the Blue Jays are minus 175 over the Mariners, and I really like that. And now it's like 230, 240. So a tremendous move today on Toronto, but I don't disagree. So it's obviously very pricey on the money line. So I would look towards the run line now. I believe that's what, maybe minus $1.20 last I checked. And it's a lot more manageable. But this is not only is it a play on Toronto for me, but it's more of a play against Seattle. And Joe Ranieri and I, this past Saturday, we do a show at noon to 2 Eastern every Saturday on Sirius XM channel 204, except for this Saturday because of the holiday. But Joe and I both talked about how the Mariners are a team that's going to regress at some point. And, one thing we don't talk a lot about is run differential, but it's a pretty good barometer long-term over 162 games of which teams are winning and losing teams. And to put that in perspective, you look at a team like the Giants. Everyone's waiting for the Giants to fail, but they're a legitimate team this year. They've had one of the best run differentials all season long. Their record is basically what it should be. Seattle, on the other hand, is not the case. And by the way, the Giants plus 99 runs, the Dodgers plus 104. The Mariners on the season are 41-38. They're minus 43 runs. That should equate to a 35-44 record. So the point is there's going to be some opportunities to fade Seattle, and I think Toronto's a good team to do it with. This is kind of a big picture fade situation. Unfortunately, the line has run, so I would not play the minus 175 down to 240. I'd play the run line minus 1.5, minus 120 Blue Jays. But I do think we'll get value here over the next month or so, fading Seattle on a regular basis.
So this kid, Chris Flexen, for the Mariners, he's 6-3. The team is 10-3 in his 13 starts. And I'm with you conceptually on Seattle not likely to have as good a second half of the year as they had over the first half of the year. But Scott Servais, in my case, he's a manager of the year right now. And Seattle hasn't shown that any signs that there's an imminent slump coming. Why would today be the day that you would want to lay the price with Toronto? Or is this just bet on the Blue Jays and don't worry about the opponent?
Well, first of all, Toronto's won 7 of their last 8. They're in excellent current form. Actually, a teeny bit better than even Seattle, who's a vast overachiever. But let's look at the numbers. Overall, we have the edge in every aspect. Yes, Flexen's had a solid season, 3.9 ERA. Robbie Ray, the Blue Jays starter, 3.4. Flexen's got a 1.25 whip. Robbie Ray, a 1.14 whip. So even though they're only 7-7 with him on the mound versus 10-3 with Flexen, he's had better numbers overall. Toronto holds a massive offensive edge. Now, I know their home park is hitter-friendly. Seattle's is not, but even it's still night and day. Toronto averaging 5.1 runs, 264 average. Seattle 4.1, 216. And Toronto actually has slightly better bullpen numbers in some regards. So I just think Seattle's a purely overrated team. And I know they're in decent current form here. I would agree, Teddy. What you probably want to wait to do is see maybe lose 2 out of 3. I'm trying to front run it a little bit here with the Blue Jays, who are in excellent current form as well.
Steve Merril, everyone. Guys, Steve, Twins, Chicago White Sox game was postponed yesterday. We have a different pitching matchup today. Where are you going in this game?
Yeah, this is another big picture concept here. First of all, I think the Twins are vastly underrated as far as a team that you could probably play on and make some money with here on out. This is what's supposed to be a playoff contending team. They've just been terrible this year. They're 33-43. They're minus 21 units against the money line, and we're less than halfway through the season. I think they're going to actually make some money here in the near future. And Minnesota's a team, once again, they haven't been good this season. They've been very inconsistent offensively. They've left a lot of runners on base at times. I do think that tends to even out in the long haul. And also, Giolito is one of the guys that's on my list. This whole spin rate debacle. You know, we're talking a lot about Bauer. We're talking a lot about Garrett Cole. Cole had a terrible outing again, by the way. Both Bauer and Cole have been up and down over the past month, but they've given up a lot more home runs. One guy that I've been keeping a close eye on that hasn't faltered yet is Lucas Giolito. But something is suspect about Giolito. What I look for isn't high spin rate. What I look for is guys that have a tremendous jump from one year to the next. And let's keep in mind, back in 2018, Giolito was one of the worst pitchers in baseball, an ERA of over 6.2. He gave up the most walks in all of baseball. 1 year later, actually the next 2 years after that, he's 6th and 7th in the Cy Young voting. 1 year later, he gives up half as many walks, twice as many strikeouts. His spin rate was in the 200 range, went as high as number 2 one season. So I think this is a guy that will regress at some point. I think the Twins are a bit of a play-on team as they've been underachievers. So it sets up well here. And we'll see where this line goes. There was some sharp money coming in on Minnesota yesterday before this game was rained out. So the odds makers were able to reset it now at a little bit of a lower price. But I think the Twins are still a live dog here at the plus 120 range.
So, I mean, Giolito does have one start against Minnesota this season. 8 innings, 2 hits allowed, 1 run, 11 strikeouts. 2-1 White Sox win in that ballgame. But I wanted to ask you in terms of the approach for this contest, because Minnesota's bullpen is one that they've cost me more than once this year. I'll just put it that way. Not a bullpen that I trust. Chicago's the better pen. Is this one where you would look for a first 5, take advantage of the starting pitching matchup, or just one you look full game?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can make an argument that you want to get that Minnesota bullpen out of there, Teddy. But one thing I forgot to point out is that Minnesota is playing better baseball. As I mentioned, I thought they were due to do so, and they've actually quietly won 7 of their last 9, whereas the White Sox have been a pure fade. They've lost 7 of their last 9. So these are two teams really heading in opposite directions. So I think the full game works. I'd like to have that Twins offense for a full 9 innings here to see what they can do. Abreu, by the way, is scheduled to come back tonight for Chicago. That could be the catalyst they need to get a little bit of a bump. But I want to see it first. And so far, the Twins have been in better current form over the last week. So I'll take the full game with the team in better current form.
Steve, Houston, Baltimore. Houston minus 350 yesterday, lost outright. Now they find themselves minus 333. Baltimore doesn't even have a pitcher. starting in this game. I think they're just going to send out their manager or something. So right off the bat, I'm leaning over. Houston can put up 8 right regardless, and surely their pen is a little overworked based on yesterday's pathetic performance. What do you like in this game?
First of all, we want a pitcher, not a belly itcher. Second of all, never call me Shirley. But hey, this game, there is actually nobody on there right now.
That was terrible. Rewind that. It never happened.
No, that second joke. The first one was awful. I was going to go with the first one, but then when he said Shirley, I had to call an audible and get the second one in there because that's from one of the greatest movies of all time. And if you guys don't
Airplane.
know, there we go.
Airplane.
Thank you. The chat room will light up on that one.
Let's go. Nielsen, I got a shawarma.
Canadian, by the way. Leslie Nielsen, great Canadian. Yeah, we don't have a pitcher in this one. It might be Wells who's making his debut. I actually would like that it is because I love backing maiden starters the first time out.
Lakins has been announced I think
for
we
Baltimore. Can start. What's that?
Lakins, Travis Lakins Sr. has been announced for Baltimore.
You're seeing that now? Okay, because I was still seeing undecided.
Last time out, he went 4 innings, gave up 1 hit against Toronto. No runs in 4 innings, 42 pitches, faced 13 batters. He's not going to go deep into the game.
Yeah, and obviously the Baltimore bullpen, as you know, Teddy's been dicey at best. The big picture takeaway, the reason I wanted to talk about this game, though, isn't really because of this particular matchup, is that I think, when the team loses 20 straight on the road like Baltimore did, or Arizona lost 24 straight recently, you don't want to try to catch that falling knife. You want to wait for a turn. The Orioles broke that 20-game road losing streak against Toronto with a 6-5 win. Then they lost the next 2. As Prez said, a huge underdog win last night, 9-7. But it looks like that offense is starting to wake up. They've hit the ball better offensively the last 4 or 5 games. I think there could be with some value with Baltimore in the near future. Meanwhile, it's actually a good time, I think, to start fading Houston. This is a team that was on a monster run. Last time I was on the show last week, I used them as a free play right here on this segment. But it looks to me like they're cooling off. We talked about Prez and I talked about that 3-1 win. Was that the sign? They came out and scored 25 the next 2. But now they have scored 3 or less in 3 of their last 4. Last night, I know they did put up some runs, so I would agree the over is probably worth a look, Prez. But I think Baltimore is a big dog here, not at plus 250. Take them on the run line, you're still getting like plus 170. I think there's going to be some value fading Houston and maybe even playing on Baltimore over the next couple of weeks, and it sets up tonight regardless of the pitchers.
So is this the type of game where you'd be interested in the dog plus a 1.5 as opposed to
that's what
the
he
dog
just said,
to win the
Teddy.
game?
Well,
that's what
I'll tell you
he just said.
I mean, I like to get wins for the listeners. I know, but I know there's a lot of short-term thinkers out there. I have no problem playing them outright. I mean, they cashed as a big dog last night. But what I would do for people out that are more live and die by daily results, as I know a lot of our viewers, unfortunately, are, is you can always sprinkle half on each. And Dave Cokin's brought that up over the years. You get basically a +1 that way, so you get a little bit of a hedge. But I mean, I love a run line at plus money, so it's still a pretty nice payoff, even at the +1.5. You could probably even find a 2.5, probably around pick'em, I would think, is what the 2.5 probably is. I didn't look that up, but a lot of ways to play Baltimore here as a big dog.
Steve Merril, everybody. Great stuff, Steve. As one of our listeners said, that was oven, bro. Anyway, we only have a few more minutes. It's penalty box segment time. Oh, Steve, what do you have to promote?
Steve, $150 off any 30 or 90-day package. Steve, $150, red hot 70% return the last 2 months. WagerTalk.com, Steve, $150.
Awesome stuff. Joe, stick me in that penalty box. It won't be long. Hey, everybody. It's me, Lawrence Presman. Thank you all for watching Wager Talk today. If you guys are seeing this video on Twitter, it was a great show. Dave Cokin took apart 3 baseball games. Steve Merril did the same. Teddy's big game breakdown on the basketball game, and he absolutely nailed it. So check out Wager Talk today, 12 to 1 Eastern, every day, our YouTube channel, Wager Talk TV. I got 4 baseball bets that did not make my card, but I am betting. I just want to let everybody know I'm going for my 9th baseball winner in a row today. I have 1 play up at wagertalk.com. Check it out. Here are the 4 plays that I am betting but not releasing, and that is Philadelphia under the total. We spoke about that at the top of the show with Dave Cokin. I also like the Jays -1.5. We spoke about that as well throughout the show. I like the LA Dodgers tonight. I think they are, it's a better matchup, and Bueller is just awesome. And on top of it, I think they're a better team than San Fran flat out. And I also like, and we spoke about this in the show, the San Diego Padres over the total. So that's Philadelphia under, Jays on the runs line, LA Dodgers, Padres over. Teddy, my friend, I am a hungry man. Take us home.
I got a nitpick first, dude. It's way more fun to nitpick. You got it. So if you're going to nitpick me about asking him a question that I want to know the answer to, that I know that he said, but I wanted to make sure that he clarified it, I'm going to nitpick on this because Cokin said it. And if Cokin's going to say it and then you're going to pick up on it, I got to jump in. Run line, singular, not runs line. There's my little nitpick. That's going to wrap it for the Tuesday edition of Wager Talk Today. We'll do it again tomorrow, noon on the East Coast, 9 a.m. here on the left coast. Between now and then, enjoy the games and good luck.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.